Hey guys, how's it going? Orange here, and welcome to a new iRacing video. We are again driving the Skip Barber, just like we did last time, but this time we are on the Spa Francorchamps circuit instead of Rock Park, where we, used to drive last time. So Spa Francorchamps, then I bought this track a long time ago, and we're going to drive now on it. It's a great track, and I really enjoyed it. I did a practice session before this one, but it didn't really end up that well. So let's see how the race will go then. Lights are coming on now, and I'm starting from P11, by the way. Here we go. Lights are green. And obviously the first gear is quite low in terms of revs in this car, but we have quite a decent start. Looking on the inside now, but braking very early for the first corner, a little bit too early actually, but yeah, just want to keep it safe, but it does allow me to have a great exit quite close to the car who's alongside me right now on the left hand side. And if we keep, flat out, we will end up being 3 wide into a Rouge probably, but the car backs off. But there's still someone on my left hand side, but I do overtake him. I was on the inside, but I do have a very slow exit. There's a car going off. I do have a very slow exit out of our Rouge. So here again comes Corey, who I was alongside with at the exit of the first corner, and now again there comes another one into play again. So 3 wide once again. On this straight, seems like we are still 3 wide. Who can brake latest? The car on my inside braked pretty early, and there's a crash in front. Whoa, a lot of cars involved there. I think about 3 or 4 cars involved in that one single crash, and that made me we got rid of Corey as well. Thanks to that, I think he had to avoid that accident because he was on my outside, and I had the inside for the corner, and the inside was pretty clean, but on the outside there was that was the crash. So we got quite lucky there actually, and it gained us a lot of position. So I started from P11. Right now I should be in P4, I think, because as you can see in front, there are 3 cars in front of us, which should be the top 3. Now you might remember Stewart. He was the one who won, or pretty much dominated, the previous race in Rock Park. So I know this guy Wolfgang as well. So I wasn't really, very, what's the right word? I didn't really expect to, close the gap to them, because I know they have a great pace, and they are all, I think, the top 3 is right now Class A license. At least 2 of them are, Stewart and Wolfgang. They are both Class A license, so I didn't really expect to close down on them. But I'm going to give it a try. I mean, you never know. You can never give up. This is Spa Francorchamps. I really like this track, and most of the times when I like a track, I'm pretty quick at it, which is quite weird actually, but it is true. Now behind us we have Bjorn, where we that was the guy where we were 3 wide with as well, but he was on our inside instead of Corey being on our outside. So he pretty much managed to keep up with me somehow after that incident with a couple of cars. He's around 2 seconds behind me, so we should take a little bit of a look at him, see if he can close the gap to us. So that's the first lap then, and it's 4 seconds to Wolfgang, and indeed 2 seconds to Bjorn behind us. But I did practice session before this one, and that practice session was actually really bad. I couldn't get faster than 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And I know that there are some people out there who can drive 2 minutes and 47 seconds. So they were about 3 seconds quicker than me, which obviously wasn't very good. I did make a few setup changes at the beginning of this race, but setup doesn't really affect the car that much. That's at least my experience so far. Also, this track we have to complete 12 laps, which is quite a lot actually, especially on such a long track like Spa. But there we go. Still have to get a little bit up to speed right now. Yeah, this was my first race basically, and I can actually tell you now that that is going to be a very good race. So stay tuned, keep watching, because trust me, it's going to be a very good race. But I'm not saying more than that, but it's going to be a good race. Anyway, still in P4 then, outside the podium, and it seems like the gap to Bjorn behind us is increasing a little bit. and the cars in front, they are actually battling quite a bit, which is definitely helping me, otherwise they would fly off, I think. And it doesn't really seem like visually that they are pulling away from me at this stage of the race, obviously. I mean, they might be battling so much that they lose a lot of time, but still. So very important on this track to have a good line, good racing line, have a good knowledge of when to get on the throttle, when to brake, how to take the lines. It's very important, especially on this track. There are some parts on this track which I will tell you soon, where you really have to get a good line, and sometimes you have to compromise a corner to open up the next corner a little bit better in terms of to gain some time. So here's Blanchimont. It's basically flat out, no problems with that. Eau Rouge is flat out as well, and you can cut Eau Rouge so much in this game in iRacing without getting a warning or an off track, which is a little bit ridiculous actually, because you will see it in a minute how much you can cut it. It seems like indeed the cars in front are slowing each other down quite a bit. 4.3 seconds to Wolfgang, so basically the gap is still extended. But now we skipped to lap 4 at the ending of lap 4, and we have a 4-second lead over Bjorn. But look in front, you can see the gap being visually closer. I've been pushing the final, let's say, couple of laps. I did a high 2:50, which isn't too bad I think right now because of the fuel. We have quite some fuel on board. So the gap at the beginning of this lap was 3.3 seconds to Wolfgang. But look ahead, they are still battling, and they have been 3 wide basically for a lot of times in this race. And there we go, you can see the gap being visually closer as I have my first off track of this race. Went too much on the throttle there and went too wide. Then we do a low 250 right now, so I'm definitely pushing, and 2.1 seconds to the car in front, who is now Pascal, however you pronounce it in English, as I nailed the first corner beautifully, and have a good exit as well. So let's see what we can do now. Hopefully they will keep fighting, because it's definitely helping me. At this stage I really wanted to join the battle, because I've seen this battle for the whole race, and I just wanted to take part in the battle because it looked so good. Again, they are 3 wide. Looks like I got more speed on the straight, but the 2 cars in front crash. They crashed. Oh, almost hit me there. That was very close actually. 1 car spinning and 1 car rolling over. But somehow I managed to avoid that. Well, not really avoid it, because you can see in the top it said car contact. So I don't know if my car is damaged at this stage. It doesn't feel like it, because I'm pretty much nailing these 2 corners. But that was actually Wolfgang and Pascal who had an incident, and I think it was Wolfgang, not sure, who crossed the track to the left side, and he almost hit me actually. I had to get on the brakes a little bit, and that unsettled the car, so I had to correct it in the same time, and somehow I didn't end up hitting them. I basically went through them. Pascal was on my right side and Wolfgang was on my left side, so a bit lucky there, especially if consider that I actually took 2 places there. So I'm right now on the podium in P2, and right now the car in front, oh wait, I was actually wrong. It was Stewart who was on my left hand side, not Wolfgang. Wolfgang is right now in front of me, so I expect him to be actually pulling away from me, because he now has clean air, and once this guy has clean air, trust me, I think he's very quick. I've seen him driving a lot of times in practice, and he has been basically hitting the top every time. So I expected him to pull away, but I'm not going to give up. I'm not that guy who is right now, backing off and driving carefully and cruising. Definitely not. I still want to keep fighting, because you never know. I'm a fighter. So Blanchimont flat out again, and then the bus stop chicane. Braking quite late for this corner, shifting out to first gear, and try to have a very good line through this one. You want to get as close to the apex as possible. So I had a little bit of a moment in the middle of that corner, but didn't cost me too much time. Let's see what the gap is to Wolfgang then.
2 minutes 50.6.
There we go, the gap is 1.5 seconds. And as my engineer tells me, we're up to second. And now we skip a few laps ahead, actually the beginning of lap 10. As you can see, I'm behind Wolfgang somehow. I can tell you that I had a pretty good pace. As you can see, I just did a lap time to 49.2, which is definitely my my personal best on this track. I never went any faster than that. Never really before this race. I never got below the 2 minutes and 50. But obviously the fuel load is coming off. The car's becoming lighter and faster as well. And Wolfgang, somehow I'm staying with him and actually pulling him in. I'm being faster than him in that mode. As you can see there, that was a rouge, massive cut, and didn't gain an off track, or you know, sometimes when you cut a corner you have to slow down. So Wolfgang goes a little bit defensive because slipstream is quite effective, especially on this straight. And closing him down, and I could feel it. I was like, well, don't be dumb. I mean, it's very easy to be stupid right now and crash into him. You know, I was like, just drive intelligent. You came from P11, you're already up to P2. So just relax and yeah, just see if we can pass him. But obviously don't want to do any stupid things, because that will be really bad. By the way, the gap to Bjorn has extended to 9 seconds, so it doesn't really seem like that you know, he's a threat to us. He's braked a little bit too much for that corner, and thanks to that I had a bad speed coming into it. Could have been better. Then Pulhan is a very difficult corner. As you can see, lots of oversteer there. I have to correct it multiple times. It's very easy to spin it there when you take too much speed into it. So you definitely need to be careful for that corner, Pulhan. And then this is one of the corners that you have to compromise. You have to stay on the right side a little bit to open up this left-hander a bit more. Nailing the apex there much more than Wolfgang did. As you can see, my driving style is a little bit different compared to him, compared to his. I'm constantly getting closer to the apex than him, but he most of the times gets a better exit than me. As he runs a little bit wide at the exit of this corner, I do as well, but nothing too serious. So I'm in the slipstream, which will help me down this straight. And let's see what we can do then. Only 3 laps to go. At the end of this lap, only 2 laps to go, so not a lot of time to pass this guy for first position. You know, this is for first position. As I had to lift off the throttle there because of the slipstream, obviously taking away some of my downforce. And here we go, the bus stop chicane again. And we seem to be nailing the apex again a bit more than him. Again, a little bit of an oversteer moment mid-corner. But look how close we are. This is very good actually. With just 2 more laps to go, he goes a little bit defensive again. He don't want me to profit from his slipstream. Did a 2 minute 48.8, which is absolutely my personal best. As you can see as well, my fastest lap of this race. And just 4 tenths behind Wolfgang. I didn't expect this at all. I expected me to struggle a lot this race. But it isn't too bad. But unfortunately, thanks to the car contact and yeah, oh, hang on, I'm very close to Wolfgang here at the exit of Eau Rouge. We're actually side by side right now on this straight. I'm going to finish my sentence because thanks to that accident there obviously was a little bit of car contact with Stewart, so that gained a little bit, you know, that's not really good for my safety rating, but we're still side by side with Wolfgang here coming into the next corner. Let's see if he is going to stay on my outside. No, he's not. He brakes quite early for that corner, earlier than I expected, and I block him off on the inside there, so he cannot cut back on me. And now we're in the lead. Holy shit. With just two more laps to go, and right now I was thinking, well, just stay calm. I mean, it's very easy right now to make another mistake because you want to push and create a gap to him, but I was like, no, just relax and see if we can pull away from him. Always stay cool is always the best thing. So there are some corners where Wolfgang is definitely gaining on me. One of them is the right hander, the hairpin, which you take in second gear, where we actually just went through. He gains a lot of time on me so every lap there. I'm not really good at that corner. It goes downhill a little bit and I always have a lot of understeer there. But there you go. Maybe he has a little bit different tire pressures, which helps him in low speed corners a bit more. Who knows? As I run a little bit wide there, struggling actually a little bit right now. Wolfgang is very close behind me indeed. And a bit wide here again, got on off track. That won't be good for my safety rating, as Wolfgang, look at the mirror, is gone a little bit wide at the exit of the corner, but he is now on my slipstream, in my slipstream I should say, very close behind me, and he is right now on my outside, and I presume he will take me, not sure though. Well, side by side still, almost making contact there, side by side through Blanchimon. I'm not going to give up, braking quite late. Obviously this is right now not full throttle, side by side, and he keeps it around my outside, but I now have the slipstream again, so can I take him back in the bus stop chicane? Now I'm on the outside because he defends the inside, so I have to take a different line into this corner as we almost approach the final lap, and I take a different line in this corner so I can hopefully get a better exit, which I do have indeed, it seems like. Now staying in the slipstream, hopefully we can overtake him again in the first corner. He goes a little bit defensive, and there we go, then the fastest lap, no sorry, not the fastest lap, the last lap of the race. And we are side by side coming into the first corner. Can I take him here? It seems like yes, and somehow, look in the mirror, Wolfgang lost a lot of time actually there. I think he wanted to take a different line so he could get early on the throttle and take more speed coming out of the first corner. I think he indeed took a little bit more speed out of the exit of the first corner, but definitely not a lot because he's quite far behind us. And this is very positive with just one more lap to go, final lap, and he is quite far behind right now. I don't know what he was doing actually in that first corner. There we go, I'm not complaining. And going a little bit defensive right now myself as well. Don't want him to get too much slipstream, but he's clever. He is following my slipstream. As you can see in the mirror, he closed in a bit on me on that straight thanks to the slipstream, so we might have still a battle in our hands here. I have to be defensive right now, and this is usually where I gain quite some time of him, but then I lose it again in this hairpin, which I never can. I don't know, it's so difficult. It goes downhill, it's a little bit cambered, and always generates a lot of understeer for me. As you can see, he is quite close behind me, so a little bit of oversteer there on the entry, but that's quite usual, quite normal in that corner. Look at him, he's very close behind me. I have to stay calm right now, try to defend obviously, but don't do any stupid things. I'm in the lead, so I don't want to give this position away. I would be happy with second place as well, but obviously if you can get higher than second place, why not? As Wolfgang had a better exit out of Pulhan, but he is not close enough right now. As I have a little bit of oversteer, that will cost me a lot of speed into this corner. He's on my outside, he's still on my outside. I have to leave him room obviously. He has the outside line, very close racing there. Look in the mirror, he's on my inside here. I'm going to brake quite early, and this is a tactic I have, and then cut back on him. So I can get early on the throttle. And I knew that I was in a good position right now because the slipstream will help me. I knew he was on my inside for the corner, so I just braked early and then cut back on him as we are side by side right now again. Look at this, this is the final sector of the race, final lap of the race, and we're side by side and we're coming up to Blanchimon. This is going to end well, I have no idea basically. Here comes Blanchimon side by side, and oh, there's contact and we spun. Oh, this is not good, but I still continue actually. I'm not going to give up, even not with high damage. Look at my wheel. You can see in the mirror as well, the back wheel, left hand side. The rear wheel is destroyed as well, my front wheel as well. And here comes Bjorn, who was 10 seconds behind us actually. He's coming up right now. He's in my mirror, as you can see him there, but I have nowhere to go right now. I'm just going to take this corner normally and pray that I can actually keep this place out. But I'm not sure. I'm on the throttle. Full throttle here, even though I have damage with my wheels. And here we go, side by side. Who won? I won. I think I won.
Good job, man.
There we go. We won this race. Holy shit, that was a hectic race. And look at the wheels. I have to turn like 90 degrees. As you can see, Wolfgang there, he is laughing. and I was laughing at this stage quite a bit as well. When I had that accident with Wolfgang, I was basically like, it's over now. Obviously with the high damage as well, and as I have a little bit of a look at the replay here as well. So just judging on this, as you can see here, I did turn in a bit on him, but it seems like he is going almost straight. I have no idea. I mean, I think if he would have stayed on the left hand side, there would have been a little bit of space to go side by side. I agree that I'm turning quite a bit on him, but I didn't really expect him to be, you know, let's have a look at his. There we go. I mean, he approached the corner too quick, in my opinion, and then he had understeer, as you can see here as well. I thought he would take a tighter line through Blanchimont. I think if he did that, then we would have made no contact, but unfortunately he didn't do it. And then here's a good example. I mean, we went side by side for Blanchimont earlier, which ended up good actually. And I was then on the inside, but as you see there, I'm much more careful than he was in the last lap. I'm staying much tighter to the apex. I agree he isn't turning in that as much as I did, but I'm staying on the inside here, there. I think that's not what he did do. I mean, look at the speed. When we turn into the corner, my speed was around 170 kilometers an hour. When he turned into the corner, it was around 180 kilometers an hour. So there's a difference. He then got understeer. As I have a look at the other replay of that crash between Stewart and Pascal. And here we go then. This is me with my heavy damage, struggling to get through the line. I obviously didn't expect to make it in front of Bjorn because, well, he hasn't that much damage as me. But I went for it. I took quite a risk actually, going full throttle at the exit here. That's where I went full throttle. I'm quite lucky actually. As you can see, it was very close. I'm quite lucky to not spin and then hit Bjorn. So on my side there, I think that was a little bit stupid to still get, you know, go full throttle, even though I had damage. But there we go. Very interesting race. And at the end of the day, I came home first. But as you can see, the strength of field was quite high in this race. It was almost 2700, 2700. My time was the fastest lap of the race somehow, 148.8, which is by far the quickest actually. I'm happy with that. Also, you can see that no one here gained any points on his license. I think it was there was just a hectic race. Basically, I don't know about the rest of the field, but obviously there was already a bit of contact in the opening lap, and I had some off tracks, 1, 2, maybe 3, but obviously I had car contact with Stewart, which probably cost some safety rating, and obviously in the final lap as well with Wolfgang. But nonetheless, in my opinion, it was a very good race. It was quite unfortunate with the crash with Wolfgang. I would have liked to see, you know, ending it a bit better without contacting Blanchimont, because we would have been probably side by side coming up to the bus stop chicane, and then it would have got, you know, maybe even more exciting. But you know, on my side, I think I have to you know, look at myself honestly. I think I was a bit too dumb with my damage, and in the bus stop chicane, obviously I went full throttle. Because I still wanted to finish first, even though I had so much damage. It could have been possible that I spun and then took out Bjorn as well. So taking a lot of risk there, but luckily it paid off. It could have ended up a lot worse. And when I spun with Wolfgang, I basically immediately after I spun, my mind was still on the race, and I still kept driving, and somehow managed to take first. Then the gap in the end was 3/100ths of a second to Bjorn. So interesting race. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I know it was quite hectic, but still, I hope you guys have enjoyed. I know that you guys seem to be enjoying iRacing quite a lot. Unfortunately, my iRacing subscription will end quite soon, and I won't renew it at this moment. I will renew it once I get my new setup, my new rig with triple monitor setup. But that will take quite some time still, so I'm very sorry, but I don't think that there will be any iRacing in the next, let's say, 2 or 3 months. Very sorry for that, but it is the truth. Still, I hope you guys have enjoyed this race. If you have enjoyed the video, I would appreciate a like. I know it was a very crazy race, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the craziness that was going on. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.